Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maria. If you watch this video and you enjoy it, don't be shy, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So today I put a video together for you, but it's as much for you as it is for me. It's a reminder to us that because of the things that we go through internally, we may be left with the feeling that there is something wrong with us. I have some ideas as to why we may be feeling these ways and what we can do about it. I want to start off by reassuring you that the feelings you have inside are completely valid after you go through this long-term emotional abuse or, bullying or whatever it is that you have gone through that has lasted for an extended amount of time. You may develop something called CPTSD. This is short for complex post-traumatic stress disorder. This is a disorder that happens because of emotional abuse that happens over an extended amount of time. How this is different from PTSD is that with PTSD, let's say you were in a car accident. This is an isolated incident that you have thoughts about or flashbacks to that moment. When we have CPTSD, we have flashbacks, but these are called emotional flashbacks, where we think back onto the time where this long-term abuse happened and the feelings that we felt at that time, we now feel them in the present. So it feels like we're back in, the time of this emotional abuse, but we're not. Okay, we're in present day. CPTSD can also cause us to feel this abandonment, like we are self-abandoning. This means that we are putting other people's needs in front of our own. This can cause us to become people pleasers. So we are putting the things that other people feel in front of our own feelings. If someone else, needs help with something, maybe we need help ourselves. But we are letting go of our own needs to help other people. Something else that CPTSD, how it may show up in your life, is through something called toxic shame. Toxic shame is when someone else tells you something about yourself, all right? So they are telling you who you are taking what they say, you are internalizing it, and in turn you are believing that it is now a part of your identity, and it may feel really uncomfortable because it's not actually who you are, but it's how someone else made you feel or what somebody else told you you are, or these characteristics about yourself. You now are abandoning who you really are as a person, and you are taking on the identity that this other person has labeled you as. So these are some of the things that we go through when we have CPTSD. After long-term trauma, you may be experiencing a negative inner critic. So these thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, I'm not going to get that good job. I see all these entrepreneurs building these buildings, starting their own businesses. I wish I could do that, but unfortunately I can't because I've been through abuse. I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough. And we start telling ourselves these things. Well, this is something we call a negative inner critic. This is your subconscious mind being so used to telling yourself the same thing that without you even trying to, your subconscious mind is just constantly going to this negative spot, right? Over and over again. Your mind might also be on something called a limbic system trauma loop. The limbic system is a part of your brain. And the trauma loop means that you are constantly replaying the trauma that you went through in your mind. So we have to think, is this really true? Are our thoughts really true? These things that we are telling ourselves about ourselves, is this real? Or is this just a facade that someone else has created and we are now living in their existence? If you're going through these things, hopefully you have found your way to a therapist or somebody that can help you to sort through these feelings and sort through this trauma. Because when we try to figure out our own trauma and dissect it ourselves, it can be really detrimental to our mental health, right? We need a professional to help us go through the steps to actually deal, process, and move on from our trauma. That's really, really important. I'm just wondering today, do you have a overwhelming, sense that there's something wrong with you? And you're constantly trying to figure out what it is. You need a diagnosis. You don't understand where these feelings are coming from. And you feel like you're so different from other people. Why do other people have these amazing lives and you are stuck in this inner turmoil? What is wrong with you? I want to let you know that all these thoughts that you're having, these emotions that you're feeling and you're working through, these are not who you are as a person. What it is you have a core wound inside of you. So whatever it is, the bullying, the whatever long-term abuse you went through, because you've internalized it to be true, you have what is called a core wound. So this core wound could be a wound of abandonment. It could be a wound of embarrassment. It could really be anything. But that's what you're feeling. That's what feels so bad inside. So because we have these core wounds, they come out of as they come out of us, it comes out and it shows up as irritability, depression, anger. It could come out of us in all of these negative ways. So a lot of times we look at the symptoms that we're having and we can say we have depression, we have major depressive disorder, we have bipolar disorder, we have, OCD, but a lot of the symptoms of all of these things that are coming out of us because of the core wound are the same symptoms that people who have all of these different disorders have. I am 100% not saying that you don't have these different things, but I want to tell you that the symptoms of C-PTSD and of having this core wound are very similar to the symptoms of all of these other disorders that are out there, that are in the DSM, that are in the book of diagnostics that therapists use. So there's a lot of symptoms that overlap, and it's very important to work with a medical professional, to work with your therapist, to work with your psychiatrist, and figure out how to heal the issue, which is that core wound that happened during trauma. I want to encourage you today to remember that the things that we dwell on, the things that we think about over and over again, is going to be what we concentrate on most in our lives. So if we are constantly concentrating on what is wrong with me, why am I not progressing in age like other people? Why am I thinking, in a way that is younger than my actual age? Well, this is not something that means that you need to tell yourself that there's something wrong with you all the time. These are things that you can actually work through with your therapist, and you are able to move past these things. I know it feels like you are in this situation. You are always going to be in this situation. You've always been in this situation, and you're never going to be able to move on. Be very careful about the words that you speak over yourself, because what you tell yourself is going to be what you're focused on, what you're concentrating on. Try to make sure you are speaking positive things over your life. There is an exercise that you can do that may help you decipher who you really are. What is your real identity compared to what you're telling yourself your identity is? So if you grab a piece of paper and you put down 2 different columns, who I am, what does my gut tell me? Who does my gut tell me I am? Okay, so who am I really compared to what are the things I tell myself? If you do this, and maybe you're going to do this while you're working with a therapist, maybe you're going to do this today, maybe you're going to do it at home. When you do this, I want you to compare these 2 lists and compare who you really are to what your thoughts are telling you you are, and see how that contradicts. I know I did this exercise when I first started my healing journey from narcissistic abuse, and I was shocked to see that my thoughts were lying to me. I didn't know at that point in my healing journey that our thoughts weren't always true. Why would you lie to yourself? A lot of our thoughts, they're not true. They're just things we're saying. They're not things we're acting on. They're not true. So if you're able to separate who you are as a person, what your gut is telling you, to learn how to trust your gut, compared to what your thoughts are telling you, you may notice that these things contradict each other. This could be a start for you to learning who you are. What is your real identity? I want to end this video today just reiterating the fact that you are not alone in this. You're not alone in thinking that there's something wrong with you. When we have all of these negative thoughts inside, we feel this shame. Maybe we're depressed and we have anxiety. Maybe we get angry and we're very irritable. Maybe we have a hard time holding relationships because we don't trust people and we feel like they are always going to abandon us. Well, if you feel that way, you're not alone. So many of us do. I encourage you to leave a comment below. This community is a safe place for people to come and read your comments and maybe feel a sense of connection with someone else that may be going through the same thing. You're not alone, okay? These are things you can work through, and these are not a life sentence. There's nothing wrong with you, all right? You've been through something traumatic, and this is what trauma does. So try to schedule an appointment with a therapist. If you do have a therapist, I advise you to be very open with them, express your feelings, and have a real urge of getting through to that core wound, working on it, fixing it, and getting through these issues. Do not stay in the place that you're at right now. I believe in you. You can get through this. I've worked very hard on this, so I know it's possible. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't be shy, hit the like button. And subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. As always, I wish you all the love in the world.